Yoo-hoo! Welcome back to Tasha's Heirloom table. We're trying a little different view today, so a little further away, but that's okay. Now you can see the whole counter and everything I'm doing up here. Today we are making meringues, and it is a cookie, I believe a cookie recipe. And I love to eat meringues, but I've never ever made them before. So I'm really excited to give this a try. It does not have whose kitchen that's from, but this looks a lot like Elliot's handwriting. So I don't know if you can see that, but let's get started. Actually, before I start, I just wanted to give a refresher on why I started this channel. I started this channel because I received this box of recipe cards from my great-grandmother. It was actually at my grandfather's house. And I opened this box, and there's all these recipe cards in here of things I've never made before. Some of them are copies of recipes that I have in my box that I also never made before. So I was talking to my mom, and I was like, I feel like we need to try all these, and things that we don't want or don't like, let's get rid of them, and things that we do like, let's keep them around and make sure we incorporate them in our regular baking, because I love to bake. And so that's what started this channel. And so you are traveling this journey with me as we make all of these recipes. So today is meringue. I believe this is Elliot's recipe. So let's get started. We are starting with 6 egg whites. These needed to be at room temperature, so I pulled the eggs out a while ago. And I've always separated them when cold and then let them get to room temperature. But let me tell you, separating them while they're at room temp, so much easier. So I totally recommend that. All right, it says beat until stiff and then add a cup of sugar gradually. And I do have my cup of sugar here. This is 400 grams. So 200 grams is 1 cup. So 2 cups, 400 grams. I pre-measured that. I just have this to help dump into the mixing bowl. So let's get to mixing. That looks like it's holding its shape, and it's really glossy, but I guess it's still. So I've made pavlova before, and this is where I'm getting a little nervous about this recipe, because I'm not sure if when it says beat until stiff, if it needs to be like, these are, I would consider soft peaks. But then I'm going to beat in another cup of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of vinegar. So we're gonna go with this. Okay, so the next part is what I just said. It says beat in white vinegar, which we have 1.5 teaspoons of white vinegar in this cup, and beat in alternating with the other cup of sugar, which this isn't very much. So that's an interesting little ingredient for me. But in all other things where you alternate, you always start and end with the dry ingredient. So I'm going to start with sugar and end with sugar. So let's see how this goes. It's not a stiff peak. I'm going to beat it a little bit longer. that. We're gonna go with it. I think it's so shiny and really pretty. You know what? These may be disastrous. I don't know. The next step it says is to spread by spoonfuls on heavy brown paper on a cookie sheet. Now, when you've seen meringue cookies, you've probably seen them in that cute little dollop out of a piping bag. But these have a filling in them. And it's a chocolate, like a chocolate creamy filling. And there's also an option to add chopped nuts, which we're not going to do. We are not using nuts, but you can. And it says chopped nuts may be sprinkled on meringues before baking. So my guess is it's supposed to be like a little nest, because it's going to have this whipped chocolate in the center of it. And if you want nuts, you can put those in while they're baking. Also, it says frozen strawberries or raspberries mixed with sweetened whipped cream is also an option. So I guess if you want to go berryish or chocolate-ish, or you could do both, which maybe I'll do both. I'll think about it while I'm making these out. I did forget a spoon, so I'll be right back. I'm baking these on a thick brown paper. This is a paper that we use when we're smoking like brisket or pork butt. And my husband wraps the meat in these, so that's the paper that I'm using for this. My assumption is they would have used like a brown paper bag, which is what we used to use for that process. So I'm just going to dollop these on here and then maybe make a little center on them. I don't think one of these is going to be enough, but my guess is these aren't going to spread a lot. They're not supposed to anyway. The recipe also doesn't say how many this makes, so not sure how large to make them. This is where all the experienced bakers are gonna come on here and tell me what I've done wrong. Which is fine. I'm here to learn, because like I said, I've never made most of these recipes before. All the ones that I've made before are already on this channel. So we have some family favorites that we've obviously made before. Yeah. And these cook for an hour, so it's not like I can do multiple. These, I feel like I started too small. Okay, I'm gonna have to get another cookie sheet. I'm baking these in a 275-degree oven for 1 hour. While these are in the oven, I'm going to work on the filling. And it says to melt 3/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips in a double boiler uncovered. So got that going here on the stove. I was trying to do this where you could see. There you go. So we're going to put 3/4 cup of chocolate chips in here. And this has to cool before we do it with the whipped cream. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and start it now, so that I don't think it'll take very long for the meringues to cool down. And that way we can get right on that topping, because they have to go in the refrigerator for 3 hours before you try them. So this is a drawn out recipe, but I think that it's going to be worth it. I hope so. I really hope so. Now that this is melted, it tells me to stir in 3 tablespoons of hot water, which I have here. So we're going to stir that in. And it tells me to cook until thickened, stirring constantly. Okay, I'm guessing it's supposed to look something like this. I don't know if you can see that, but okay. And now it says to add in a teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm going to use vanilla paste for this. And vanilla paste just measures teaspoon for teaspoon. Okay, we're gonna let that cool, and then when I pull the meringues out, I will fold this in with a cup of whipped cream, and we'll put it into the cold meringues. So we still got a little ways in this process. We're back. Meringues are out of the oven. I folded in the chocolate mixture, which was in here, into 1 cup of whipped cream. So that is what this looks like. I was going to attempt to do a nice, pretty design into these cups, or these meringues, but the gallon size bags I have are not the greatest. So not doing that. It says to pour into cooled meringues, but I don't know how you pour this, because it's almost a mousse. It's so thick. So now I assume fold in 1 cup of whipped cream. So you would assume that's already whipped, right? I had this little debate with myself, but then the instructions are to pour it. So I don't know. That's confusing to me. But I am not going to do all 12 of these with this chocolate. I may give the berry option a try. And this is like cracking. Maybe I'm doing too much. I don't know. These are also supposed to go in the fridge and set for an hour or 3 hours. But we're going to go ahead and taste test one now, because these would be way prettier with the piping bag. So, note to self, be prepared for that next time. Also, I had put like a little divot in the top of these, but it kind of poofed up a little bit. So, I'm not sure how to do that better, so that this could just rest in it. And that would be interesting to have nuts in here. The texture, I'm interested in what the texture would feel like. Okay, these are not pretty at all. Like, I don't know that I would want to serve these to people. They need some definite dressing up. I don't know the right word for that, but I think it's gonna taste good. Like, I'm not worried about the flavor at all. I think we're gonna have good flavor. It's just not pretty. So, you know what I think would be good in this? Like a lemon curd. Out of my lemons, but I think a lemon curd would be really good. Okay. I don't know what these will look like after being cooled in the refrigerator for 3 hours, but we're gonna go ahead and taste it now because I'm very curious to know how this is gonna taste. So let's give it a go. The meringue and the chocolate are a really good contrast. I am going to try the, oh geez, that crumbled right in my hands. I'm going to try to do the rest of these with berries and whipped cream, and I'll leave that in the notes of this video. So, and then also I'll include a picture of how that turned out. So make sure you check out the notes, and I'll put a picture at this end of this video for you to see how those turned out with the berries and the whipped cream. Again, it is frozen strawberries or raspberries mixed with sweetened whipped cream. So I think that's gonna be really good. And I'm interested if it's like a mousse. Anyway, so make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel and hit that little bell so you'll learn it each week when a new video is posted. And let me know if you've tried any of these recipes. I'd love to hear from you. And if I did a technique super wrong on here, kindly let me know in the comments. Again, I would do this chocolate a little different and pipe it so that it's prettier to serve to guests. But this recipe will stay around because yummo. So recipe is in the description of this video. So if you want to make this, go check the description for the recipe. And I'll see you next time on Tasha's Heirloom Table. All right, I just couldn't leave without you seeing this. This is, I didn't have any frozen, but I had fresh strawberries. And so I mixed those, I diced them up and mixed them with whipping cream. And man, that is pretty. Like, I would definitely serve these to people. Need to work on the chocolate one for sure. Again, you can put nuts in this if you want. So here we go. Chocolate or berries and cream meringues. Let's give this a taste. The chocolate's good. This is the one I'll remake. Berries and whipping cream on the meringue. Alrighty. See you next time on Tasha's Heirloom Table.